I guess that if you look at any town in America, you're going to find families where children don't get along with their parents. Only a couple of years ago in Louisville, that conflict in a family led to a terrible dispute in the sale of a newspaper, and it happens in every town and every industry. But when you hear about Joan Crawford, you hear about Bette Davis, you hear about Bing Crosby from their children, somehow it is larger than life, magnified, and I think so unfair to them. I'm not suggesting that somebody should muzzle the children, because I think their stories have the same right to be told as your story or mine or anybody else's. But it does seem to me that the magnifying glass that we put on the tube and on the screen really distorts reality. When the child of a movie star who's looked upon as beloved has that glaring spotlight of disclosure turned, it's very tough.
I'm not sure that it does me any good to know that Bing Crosby was a lousy father and all of that. I mean, I'm not sure it does anything except maybe destroy my enjoyment of him singing White Christmas at Christmas time.
Or the Bells of St. Mary's.
Yes, because I also think the book, it's like B.D. Hyman's book about Bette Davis. I'm not sure there's a need for that book other than perhaps B.D. Hyman's need to make a buck off of her mother. I had met Joan Crawford, one handshake, never met Bing Crosby, knew Bette Davis very, very well. And I do think that in B.D.'s book, a lot of what she said about her mother was quite true. What she didn't do was tell that whole other side of the story, is that Bette Davis was a volatile, complicated, fascinating, terrific dame. And she was capable of such kindnesses and such good deeds and humor, but none of that was told in the book. It was only this harridan part of her mother that I agree was there. But I also think that if Bette Davis was a normal person, people wouldn't have bought movie tickets to see her for 60 years. I mean, we didn't want a normal person in Bette Davis. Joan Crawford had a core of very stable, good friends that knew a whole side to Joan Crawford that is not in that book. And also, I don't think Bing Crosby, Joan Crawford, Bette Davis could have survived as long as they did in the business if they were total louses, because the business doesn't work that way. They get rid of the total louses real fast when they're not making money for them if they don't have other qualities. And you talk to people that knew Crosby, adored Crosby. Rosemary Clooney adored Crosby. And so there's obviously a whole other side to him as well as being a father. I just wish that some of those books, if they're going to be written, were written for motivations other than to make a buck off of whatever. I think if certainly the two twins that Joan Crawford adopted and left money to in the will, never had a bad thing to say about their mother. Christina was cut out of the will, which is why Christina, I think, got behind the little. Exactly. And it's an unfair shot, because those people, listen, it's unfair to even say that Bette Davis is temperamental, because we don't know what caused the temperament. It could be that, as you know yourself in business, sometimes you have to be more temperamental than you want to be just to get people to do the job they're supposed to do. So it all has to do with misinterpretation and interpretations, I think.